Hello everyone, welcome back to another episode of the Guild Wars 1 Let's Play. We are here in Eye of the North to continue the story finally after having done all of those certain side quests. So, let's get into it, and oh boy. Maybe I should have preloaded this place, yeah? Yeah. Look at the scrying pool. Get the destroyers. Does it look deep into the pool? I'll keep my eyes open. I don't want to miss anything. The final vision. Yep, this should be it. Look at that. Look at that little bastard down there. I think that's supposed to be Primarchus.
That is what we're up against.
I know where that is.
The Great Destroyer has a huge army at its disposal.
I know where that is.
And it will take every dwarf still living to find its lair.
Curse me for an apprentice, I know where that is.
Been there?
I've been to the central transfer chamber. That cavern is adjacent to it. The big statue practically bleeds magic. That's why we built the chamber there in the first place.
If we know its lair, we can strike against it.
It is still going to take everything we have. I will put a call out among my people.
Ula should have the bugs worked out of her golems as well.
The Evan Vanguard will help.
Ogden, gather your warriors. This battle involves all of us. We will help.
That is appreciated, but we need one more thing if we are to stand a chance. We must go to the heart of the Shiver Peaks. We must summon the Great Dwarf.
The Great Dwarf. Is he like normal sized? is he normal sized? Stupid joke. But yeah, we are very fast, quickly nearing the end of the campaign part of the story. We actually still have all the dwarven skills to go for, which will happen before the final combat episode. But after the final combat episode, we will have all of the different dungeon episodes, which I believe at time of recording I have half completed, or half recorded. Some of them I still need to do voiceover for. We also still have I believe it's the snowman lair. Oh, that's a dungeon actually, so I'll shut off with that. Yeah. So we got a bit left of this campaign before we go into. We're probably going to go into Heart of the North first, even though, which was the first of the Guild Wars Beyond content, and then we have the other two to get through. And then after that, honestly, no clue. That'll probably be the end of our Guild Wars adventure, but don't you worry, there's still plenty of episodes left. Probably, I wouldn't be surprised if there's at least another 100 left. It would not surprise me one bit. I probably will be streaming The Elder Scrolls Oblivion. I haven't actually played it, and it was on sale a couple of days ago, so I finally picked it up. And I should have my new PC finished up and running within the week. So there will probably be some streams of that over on the Twitch, and I will probably try to get the VODs and post them here. If anyone is interested. I thought originally about maybe just doing it as a series on here, but I do want to stream more, and playing a game like that is a perfect excuse to stream. Oh, it's blocking. I was just say, how did I not get the, Oh, and it has obby flesh. Great. What an annoying shit. For India. So we go up here and talk to Jalus. We technically could start some of the dwarf quests now, but I want to get to the final outpost of the game before. The moment of the Destroyer Destiny is almost at hand. We know the location of the Great Destroyer. We must now seek the power and guidance of the Great Dwarf. For that we need the Hammer of the Great Dwarf, an ancient powerful wreck hidden deep within the mountains itself. The exact location has remained hidden for centuries, known only to a single member of the Black Pirate clan, and down through generation to generation. Budger Blackpire is the last of his lineage, only he can lead you to it, but find him in the heart of the Shiver Peaks, where their house the dwarfs will face this destiny alone. The blessing of the Great Dwarf will soon be upon of you. Alright, let's go do it. This is actually one of the dungeons, but this is not the dungeon version. This is another instance where they take a dungeon and turn it into a story mission, changing some of the stuff about it. Now that I think about it, that's a trope that's like pretty common in fantasy, where it's like, oh, the location is secret, it's passed down from generation to one guy. But it's like, what if that person just died, like just tripped on a rock one day and died, or something, fell off a cliff? Like, the dwarves would just not have this information and not be able to fight the world-ending threat. Like, couldn't you tell at least like 2 people, maybe 3? Why only 1? This is a pretty cool area we're going to be going through, just briefly. This is like part of the battle depths that is, you rarely go through. There used to be a cool glitch here where you could, if you ran over here and died right outside of this portal, you would actually spawn in like this weird area that doesn't really like exist, for lack of a better term. And it would let you glitch your way into the final mission of this campaign. So here's the heart of the Shiver Peaks. Let's go on in. All right, here we are, heart of the Shiver Peaks. You know what, let's get that Beacon of Draknar. Every little bit helps towards getting towards that Max Delver title. Oh, we don't even have the title. Interesting. Oops. But yeah, even though it's not a lot of Dwarven XP, I mean, if I ever do eventually decide to go for that Guam, I'll want it, so do every little bit I can now to save myself time later. This is an interesting dungeon in that, like, the enemies in it don't necessarily make a lot of sense. Like, this is the heart of the Shiver Peaks. What are all these Orions? Skeletons are, all the undead are actually people that used to be from the island nation of Or, which is down, like, here. What are they all doing up here in this area? I don't know if there's ever, like, a part of the story that explains that, but they're weird. A little weird. Alright, let's go. Oh, it's that shield bash. That's what they're using to, yeah. It gives a melee skill plus 15 second recharge. That's pretty brutal for my, dagger attack. So I should just be autoing these guys. We should be finding this guy pretty soon. We shouldn't have to aggro too much of this room. A lot of chain clerics in this room. This is definitely one of the dungeons that feels like the odd man out. I don't know if that's just because of, like, obviously the way I used to play this game with doing a lot of speed clears and stuff. There are certain dungeons that you just never really did. And this was one of them. But this always felt like one of the weird dungeons. There's a couple that feel really good and a couple that feel a little awkward, and this is definitely one of those that feels a little awkward. I can't necessarily put my finger on why. This is like the mobs are a little out of place, and like the locale doesn't make a ton of sense. Like, this is the Shiver Peaks. Why is it? It's like tropical Maguma, ancient Or architecture. It should look like outside of him. Although, I guess the idea is that we traveled through a gate. We were up here somewhere. We are around here, and we traveled through a gate, and now we're all the way down here. So I guess we are a bit closer to Or, but this should be like ancient Ascalon. I guess maybe the undead here are Ascalon undead. That's a little weird. Come, friends, drink with the last black power before we depart. The trek through the heart of the Shiver Peaks will be interesting, and by I mean dangerous. We black powers have sworn a blood oath to protect the secret until the day the hammer was needed. My ancestors took that oath mighty seriously, so drink up for today. We may die honorably. Aged Dwarven Ale. Take a drink. Sip. There's some more Skelk here. Another kind of weird enemy that is a little, like, not super, what's the word I'm looking for? A little weird. I don't know, I have no real way to put it. That feels a little bit off. So this is like the mechanic for this dungeon, basically, is that the guy will be with you. I believe you can talk to him. You get a keg powder, and then you drop the keg powders near these explodable walls. And it'll open up the way for you to go deeper. But yeah, I guess this is near, like, Ascalon, so this is very much like Ascalon catacombs architecture, so I guess that makes some more sense. Let's have them fight them. I want to go look at this room real quick, because this room looks kind of cool and I've never seen it. This is pretty cool. Kind of like mossy. Weird that these still are here, kind of. That's a pretty cool area. Yeah, pretty nice. Alright. the team finished off those guys so we can keep on going. Zoop. Heart of the Shiver Peaks, level 2. I believe this is a 3-level dungeon, if I remember correctly. Now, we're back to kind of like Maguma Tropical, kind of. This is like the same architecture we saw over in Blocks and Excavations. It's quite interesting. I guess this is what I actually mean about the dungeon feeling a little bit weird, is that there's certain dungeons that don't necessarily have, like, visual consistency as you go through them, and this is one of the ones that doesn't have visual consistency. A lot of them are pretty good with it, though. Like, Shards is pretty good. I think all of these ones are good. A lot of the Norn ones are all good. It's just mainly some of the Asuran ones. Actually, I guess most of the Asuran ones are fine, too. It's just really this one and, like, maybe Blocks and Excavations that are, like, a little bit weird. But the other ones stick pretty heavily to their theme. This one always just felt like it's just a whole bunch of different weird themes put together. The door here. Oh, the door opened. Yeah, normally you gotta do some other stuff to get around here, so it's a little interesting that it just opens right up. I guess it's because this final floor is a little bit involved. And again, this is the start of the char area. Like, this is what, whatchamacallit, like, Rhaegar's lair kind of looks like.
Well met.
So again, kind of interesting that it's, like, here. This dungeon definitely feels like just a bunch of reused assets from the other dungeons, which, I mean, all the dungeons use a bunch of reused assets, but this one seems way more obvious than a lot of the other dungeons are. But again, maybe that's just because I haven't spent a lot of time in this dungeon, so it feels weird. The other dungeons I've spent a lot of time in, they don't feel as weird because I associate those locales with them, even if they are also used in other dungeons that I frequent. Another obstacle built by Black Powder Hands. An opportune time for a show. Use the keg to blast through it. Is that the first time you said anything? That's interesting. Alright. There it is. That is a cool shot. We just, grab a quick screenshot of that for the thumbnail. Behold the hammer of the Great Dwarf. Now Jealous can work. The rise of the Great Dwarf when you drive these destroyers back to where they came from. The sun don't shine, grab it and we'll be... By the foul breath of Balthasar at Cyndr, the mountain heart, the beast won't stop. This beast won't stop us from reviving the hammer. Cyndr's thick carapace protects him, but don't let your tax a few bucks for my Esther's special black powder cakes will break him good. Okay. So how this fight works is a little gimmicky, but you essentially grab the powder kegs and you run over to him and drop him on it. So you have to keep going until his carapace is broken here. See, it takes a certain amount of barrels.
Hail, my friend.
Interesting that he just nuked.
Hail, my friend.
He keeps nuking my team. That's actually kind of insane. Alright, here's the part where we try to one-phase him, so we have to deal with the mechanic again. Hard, not even finished. Mountain Heart can stay up to the Black Powers. Recipe now is the chance to hit him with all you've got. You've done it. I can't wait to tell the boys at the tavern about this. Truly an epic battle. Let's go over here and actually get the hammer. That's dungeon complete. Interestingly enough, we do actually get the dungeon chest for this chest. So we do actually get the reward here. And now we have the option of waiting 3 minutes, or we can run back to Jollis. I think it's probably quicker just to wait, to be honest with you. We can go fight some other random stuff in the area while we're chilling. But yeah, that was this mission. Kind of cool, but a little weird. Not only is the dungeon feel weird, the boss is a gimmick, and on top of that, you get the dungeon chest, which is weird, because the other times you go into dungeons for quests, you don't actually get the dungeon chest. So that makes me feel like this one was built by someone who didn't necessarily either know how everything was going to go, or like it was put in last minute. But maybe I'm wrong about that. I could be wrong about that, obviously. But I'm pretty sure this will actually pop us out right on top of Jollis. So that's also in part why I'm just hanging around. Pretty cool. Yeah, I hope everybody's having a wonderful day. I am quite enjoying my time off, even though it's coming to an end. Going back to school here soon. I believe we have one more mission before I'm gonna do all the Dwarven side quests. So that's what the current plan looks like, is one more real mission, and then we have all the Dwarven side quests to get through before we finish up the final mission of the game, and then move into the post game, so the dungeons and everything like that. The dungeons were a pretty cool addition added in this campaign. They're not quite as good as the elite areas. I think the elite areas are a little bit better done, but part of that also is just kind of how accidentally the elite areas ended up being run. The dungeons are a bit more friendly to running them traditionally, like just using heroes and fighting through, versus speed clearing. The speed clears are very fast, but they're not quite as fun or interesting, whereas the elite areas are a lot more fun to speed clear. Alright, cutscene. The Great Dwarf.
The Great Dwarf's power is upon you all.
The ritual is almost done.
They are now stone.
How are we doing?
I've restructured the matrix array for the golems. It's so simple that even a human can use it.
The Norn are ready as well.
There are 5 of you?
I thought 4 would be enough. Olaf's daughter insisted she come along.
I will never understand the Norn.
Captain Langmar and the Ebon Vanguard stand ready as well.
Are you going to undergo the rite, Ogden?
Not I. Those who undergo the rite are changed both in body and mind. I will stay with you for the moment.
The Great Dwarf's power is upon you all. The final battle lies before us. Great Destroyer against Great Dwarf. In victory, the dwarves will be changed forevermore. We are all the Great Dwarf now.
Pretty interesting. It's kind of weird that they retcon it that Ogden becomes stonified later. Kind of a weird retcon that happens after this. Or happens in the second game. So now a lot of the people, or a lot of the random dwarf NPCs are stonified. Not all of them, but some of them. Talk to Jealous here. You defeated Cyndr, the Mountain Heart Incredible. The entire Dwarven race owes you a debt of gratitude that can never be repaid. With the hammer of the Great Dwarf in our hands, we can fulfill our destiny. The dwarves shall be transformed forevermore. We become living weapons who exist solely to defeat our ancestral foes. Accept. Alright, though. That is going to be the end of today's episode. I hope you enjoyed. I hope you have a great day, and I hope to see you in the next one. Bye-bye.